Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Pancha kalpadrusha kripa sindhaveva patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I'm seeing screens with my favorite names from everywhere, from Oceania. Great to see you all and to be back here. We're right in the midst of the Sankirtan movement. It's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Karabhajana Muni that those who know what's what worship the Kali Yuga, because there's an expediency here in this age that just by taking to the Sankirtan process, Anybody can attain success very quickly. And I think of it as, and of course it's a common example, but it's worth invoking because when there's a need for medicine and you have it, it gives a feeling of being empowered to help people, or a feeling of responsibility, or it should anyway. And those of us who have practiced Krishna consciousness and read Srimad Bhagavatam have that sense of the completeness of what we're doing. It's a tradition that is decorated with the greatest of souls who have articulated the process and followed it very strictly themselves. And definitely one of the main teachings we have is that serving great souls makes one great. It's never happened in history that somebody has become great without following somebody great. And certainly in devotional service, Lord Chaitanya says it, Rishabhadev says it, Krishna says it. And Prabhupada said, kindly help me. That's a phrase that echoes in my mind quite a bit. We're in the right time. We're in the right yuga, I should say, and we have some special duty to do. Somehow or other, and Prabhupada ended one of his lectures on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance day with a series of who knews. He said he didn't know. In other words, he was saying, who could have guessed what would have happened with my efforts, or because of my efforts of coming to the United States? Because it looked dire, it looked impossible. And then he was remarking when he was with disciples and there were temples coming up on every continent of the world, who knew that something like this could happen? It's definitely magical, isn't it? And who'd want to do any other work? Kamba Yala Balum Sharanam Brajema. Also, Uddhava says, who would want to take shelter of anybody else but Krishna? I mean, we have to take shelter somewhere. So we might as well take shelter under Krishna, who takes the least qualification and gives the highest reward for it. That's unusual. Doesn't happen generally. So I feel very fortunate to be with all of you because we've formed a kind of bond over the years. We've been through the pandemic together, and now we're experiencing what it's like post-pandemic to keep pushing and moving up. And I believe very strongly that it's worth the fight, every inch of it, and the struggle, whatever it takes, to face our fears and to assuage those who are annoyed, or to to work together to overcome interpersonal conflict. That's what progress looks like. And without leaning into it, then we don't really go anywhere. And that's not what we're into. So now we're coming to the moment of truth. It's pretty exciting. And we're gaining momentum. Who knows what you can do in 2-3 days? For you guys, it's two, maybe. For us, maybe have 3. But I'm feeling it now. And you never know when you're going to feel it. We don't know exactly what ignites people and starts the fire around the world. We just try everything. And of course, we try to be as scientific as possible, but who knows what the human heart and what the sociology of it all is. But it's feeling like devotees in many places are enthusiastic and moving forward with reaching out, just going to every place they can and offering the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's always stories that come out where devotees say, who knew, who knew, who knew? This is the who knew movement. And so today we'll hear reports from many of you, several of you, and there'll be time for comments. So only as Devamrita Swami has agreed to grace this assembly with his presence and his divine words, divine because he's empowered to help spread the Sankirtan movement. He's given over 5 decades of peerless service to the Sankirtan movement. So we'll get to hear from one of the great luminaries of this period of Kali Yuga, one who's done practically as much or more than anybody we've seen in history. And we have a lot to celebrate already. And the target is in sight, isn't it? Yeah. We were just hearing this morning at our morning program. Right now it's 6 o'clock at night. We had a morning program this morning for Saturday. 2 of our Sankirtan leaders spoke, and they give these anecdotes. They're inspiring because it's inevitable when we go out to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen, but always somebody comes forward, and someone had been at our temple several years ago, and someone gave him a Bhagavad Gita. And when the devotees were walking across the parking lot, he drove up in his car and he said, "Hold on a minute, are you guys with ISKCON?" And they said, "Yes." And he said, "Do you accept donations?" And they said, "Sure, why not?" And he felt so grateful that someone had given him a Bhagavad Gita 3 years ago, and he hadn't been in touch, that he purchased a Srimad Bhagavatam set. He pulled them over and asked for it. Something so direct about the books that we distribute. I always think of it as small. So we have to give the soul credit. It's part parcel of Krishna. They know how to figure things out. They look at the picture, they look at the verses, and it just makes sense because souls are smart and they know how to figure things out. They know how to see causality. And if someone just has a little spark, getting a Srimad Bhagavatam changes their whole life. And we're seeing that all over the world in every language that's being distributed. So, Shamahini, let's see, I'm going to check in and see if I'm getting
Yes.
communication. Yes.
Oh, Maharaj is in the Zoom room. So if you like.
He is.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry. I didn't look at your notes. I got carried away because you told me to get carried away. Devamrita Swami, we welcome you. Thank you very much for agreeing to come tonight. It's made the whole endeavor of Bhadra worth it to have you here. And we're very, very eager to drink in whatever nectar you want to pour. Everyone, please give an emoji to welcome His Holiness Devamrita Swami.
Om Jnana Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Listening to his Grace Vaisesika Prabhu talk about Srimad Bhagavatam and someone's appreciation, I was pushed to remember my own quest for Srimad Bhagavatam, approaching a Sankirtan devotee and requesting. And I remember there I was trying to emerge from the material energy. So I walked up to a devotee at a huge bus terminal in New York City. And there I was looking like, well, depending on your cultural perspective, I either had a Sai Baba hairstyle, or if you're born in Europe or USA, I had a Jimi Hendrix hairstyle. And wearing a long suede leather coat, styled Manhattanite, of New York City. And I just walked up to a Sankirtan devotee and asked, do you have Srimad Bhagavatam? I just thought that was a normal question. What about this Srimad Bhagavatam? I've been thinking the past few days about the world's problems, now called the poly crisis. So many crises intersecting at the same time: economic instability, political uncertainty, environmental collapse, psychological ailments of all types. And yet we have Srimad Bhagavatam. And someone would say, well, what is this really doing? What's this Bhagavatam doing to solve the world's problems? Because any soft-hearted, intelligent person is concerned. How can people truly be happy? How can people truly be benefited? So what does Bhagavatam say? Right in the very beginning, and I've been meditating on this, inspired by the opportunity given by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu to speak to you all. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite, compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. In his mature realization, Prabhupada likes to amplify his translations. Because as he told us at the BBT, during my BBT days in the 70s, he said, actually, anyone can translate, but my purports contain my devotional ecstasies. So often in his translations, he'll turbocharge them, like he's done with this one, first canto, chapter 1, text 2. What I've been especially focusing on is Vejam Vastavam, Atravastu, Shivadam Tapa Trayon Mulanam. This Bhagavatam is the highest truth because it distinguishes reality from illusion for the welfare of all. And then the grand culmination of this assertion: such truth uproots the threefold miseries. That's quite an ambitious claim. So what I've been discussing with devotees the past few days is how we're all so busy 24/7, counteracting this discomfort, that bad situation, 24/7. I like the way Srila Prabhupada explained it, that you feel chilly, you put on your sweater. You feel hot, you take off your sweater. This is all counteraction. You feel hungry, you eat something. You feel thirsty, you drink something. Throughout the day and night, we're just simply busy counteracting. It's amazing when you think about it. So then, why is it we don't take seriously the ultimate counteraction? And that's what is being spoken in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. Not a scattershot approach. Let's counteract that misery, that one here, that one there. What about getting to the source of all the miseries? That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is focused on. Such an unrivaled, ambitious undertaking. I like one example I've been speaking about from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who said, and Prabhupada took up that same line, that same approach. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur presented the example of someone trying to empty out the ocean by scooping with the palm of their hand. You would say, this is foolish. How can you empty out the ocean one scoopful at a time? But the person gallantly tries. And then you would say, well, why doesn't he have a bucket brigade have many persons in a line and pass the bucket from the ocean, scoop with the bucket up the line, and so, until finally someone far on the shore empties out the bucket, and on this goes. Well, then, to be more contemporary, you might say, how about not simply an electric pump, but a machine run by AI, artificial intelligence? Still, no matter how much you scoop out of the ocean, whether it's by your palm or by a bucket or some sophisticated machine, the ocean still remains the same. But as proud human beings, we're so great. What do? We look over our shoulder back on the shore and we see, I've made a pond. I've made a lake. How great are we? But look back over the other shoulder toward the ocean and you haven't made a dent at all. So this is what I've been thinking about reading. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. So in explaining this verse, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, effects have a cause. If you want to get rid of the effects, you've got to address the cause. Perfect logic. I was going over one statement by one of the foremost founder Acharya environmentalists in the USA. One of the founders of the whole environmental movement. He is an ecological scientist. He was an environmental defense lawyer, a lawyer specializing in defending the environment. He was head of UN development. He was an advisor to the president of the USA on environmental issues. And for 10 years, he was dean of the Yale University Environmental School, which is the oldest environmental school in the USA. He gave his analysis of the fruits of his decades of efforts. He says, I used to think the top environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change. I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address these problems. I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And to deal with those, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation. We scientists don't know how to do that. So this is his summation of his life's work. I was wrong. We scientists don't know how to unfurl a cultural and spiritual transformation, which is exactly what Srila Prabhupada wrote in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a program for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not advocating scooping out the ocean with the palm of your hand or with a bucket, no matter how energetic and technological your efforts are. When you look at the ocean, it's still there. And when you look at what's over your shoulder on the shore, you may have made a puddle, you may have made a pond, you may have made a lake, but you haven't made a dent in the real problem. The ocean is still there. So that's what I think of reading the second verse of the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. The highest truth for the welfare of all. So all-encompassing, such an ambitious claim, which is backed up by the experiences of those who follow Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Wow. Thank you very much, Maharaj. We're spellbound after that. It was such a clear analogy and so applicable. And we feel aligned by what you said, as we have the very means to overcome the anomalies of selfishness, greed, and apathy. What else would one work for? We're getting some traction in various parts of the world. Do you have 5 more minutes to look at the maps?
Of course.
Oh, good.
What else
Okay.
is life meant for?
Well, I know how busy you are running an organization. So there's a request in the chat. Somebody wants to know the name of the environmental scientist. And in the meantime, we're going to get the maps together.
I should say his name?
Yes,
Or just
Mark.
yes, he's not only an environmental scientist, he was the dean of the Yale University School of Environment, presidential advisor, head of UN development. His name is Gus Speth, Speth. He was called by Time magazine as the ultimate government insider.
Wow.
And that you heard his conclusion. I was wrong.
Where is he now?
He's lives in Vermont. He does guest appearances at various universities. He's in his early 80s now.
We'd like to get him a set of Bhagavatams as soon as possible.
Wow, that would be amazing.
I will sponsor the set. I'd like to give Gus Seth a set of Srimad
Speth.
Speth, yeah, for Bhadra Purnima. If you can make a note of that, Shamahini.
I'm sure one of your experts, Vaisesika, can track him down, find out his address.
Okay, we'll try to figure it out. Anukul Seva, Prabhu, are you ready? So we have this, and we've had for several years, our eye on a baseline for the world, which starts at 100,000 a year. And we've been working to develop capacity. That's the main word we're looking at, is capacity, not a single time score, but increasing our wherewithal to distribute books in various ways. That is, knowing how to do it and also having the infrastructure to do it and having the inventory and having our systems together. But this is the prize we're looking at for 2026 to get up to this level of 100,000 Bhagavatam sets a year. And the goal for this year is 68,000. That's to keep track. Right now, we're going to look at some of the places around the world. You know all these places better than I. So the pledge for 2024 for Oceania. And you can see up and down the coast what everybody's doing. 703. Europe is at 2026. South America is at 31. Africa, 298. Far East, 921. North America, 7,623. India, 17,296. So far, we have pledges for 28,748. And we're depending on the last few days for devotees who have become energized. We saw it during the first year of the pandemic that we did the bulk of our distribution in the last few days. So we'll be up late nights, counting, calling, praying, and so forth. Article Seva or Shamahini, you have any comments about the maps that might give perspective, context?
We're still getting more pledges towards the end of the campaign because the wheels we're trying to turn the wheels for a while now. From Gaur Purnima to Bhadra Purnima is the campaign, but the last 4 days are going to be the most important days, and we see momentum all over. Many devotees are realizing that it's actually just in 3 days, so they're getting their pledges in. They're working hard to call their contacts to get the sets in as well.
Yeah, magic can happen in 3 days. It's an eternity, especially when the heat's turned up and there's full facility for doing it. So just try, and Oceanic can definitely increase along the coast and other places. Look at what you did last year, put the word out. And we're finding that during assemblies of devotees, there's ways in which just showing a quick video and making a plea, lots of people raise their hands and would like to get involved. Maharaj, any comments or questions?
It's also wonderful to hear. We thank you for igniting this worldwide transformation, the true answer to environmental problems, political problems, economic problems.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for giving us that context. We're going to broadcast it out there over the next few days and beyond because it's really, really helpful. And I'll let you know about us being able to get it, how successful we are getting in touch with Bhakta Gus.
All right. I thank you all. Hare
Zoe
Krishna.
Devamrita Swami ki jai. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Thanks, Maharaj. A million. Thanks a million. Hare Krishna. Okay, dear devotees, now we have a very brief intermission to show you. We have 3 videos, music videos this year. We're turning into a veritable MTV. And here's one of the shorter ones that we'll play for you now, just so when we finish this, then we're going to check in and everyone can give their reports. It was a really quick one. I hope you heard it.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be truly happy? We live in a place where it's really difficult. Fortunately, we have Krishna on our side. But how do we find him? Take a book, open up a page, read his words and aim to make a change. Take a Srimad Bhagavatam and put it in the hands of everyone. It'll change people's lives. Their life will be sublime. They'll find true happiness inside. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yo, for all the
the seekers, scholars and the wise. Srimad Bhagavatam is the truth in disguise. From Sukadev's lips, pure nectar's poured out. For liberated souls, that's what life's all about. Beyond religion with no material ties. Krishna's pastimes are nectarian highs. Feel the uplift, he's sweeter than gold. Hear it once, feel the Lord in your heart, let it take hold. Take a book, open up a page, read his words and aim to make a change. Take a Srimad Bhagavatam and put it in the hands of everyone. It'll change people's lives, their life will be sublime. They'll find true happiness inside. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Our special thanks to Siddharth Prabhu, who's so expert at editing these videos. Thank you so much. Really well done. These videos we're hearing from people around the world make a big difference. And I know the other day we had a large gathering at our temple on the West Coast here of California, of America. And we showed that video. And people were so moved by just the effort that went into it and the beauty of it all that they took lots and lots of Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So you get a residual for every one of them. Thank you, Prabhu. It's the arts that get people after all. And now we're going to our reports from our valiant leaders. First, we have a world favorite, Bhavasandi from New Zealand. Tell us what's happening there and any realizations you're having.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Realizations, well, I was thinking how, you started off by saying who knows what can be done in the next 2-3 days. And it's definitely been a bit slower this year in New Zealand, but yeah, we've had a lot of really nice quality sets go out, but we haven't had the quantity. We're about a quarter of the way towards our goal. But yeah, it was just encouraging that, to push forward and anything can be done. And so the mantra's always been the more you show, the more you sell, and devotees have been working really, really hard actually. Going out on community Sankirtan and displaying Bhagavatam sets wherever we go. And it's interesting because sometimes you make a really big effort in some area and it seems like there's no result. And then the result comes in a very unexpected way. Like somebody showed a set to somebody like nearly a year ago and they've got no contact with the temple or anything. And then this devotee has been working quite hard to promote Bhagavatam without much result. And then from out of the blue, this person phones, like a Western lady, saying that she wanted to get a Bhagavatam set for her son. So people are kind of often at the end of these campaigns, people just come out of the woodwork from nowhere. So that's kind of starting to see what we're starting to see that happen more now. And I'll just share a couple of photos. Can you see that now?
It's getting there. Yes, now we can see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is some gentleman just arrived at the temple the other day and went up to the reception and just asked for a Bhagavatam set. So, probably like 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had, maybe longer than that, we wouldn't have had different language sets available there. And just the process to go to make them available, it would have been like, oh yeah, I'll take your number, get back to you. But now we've got all the sets there, different languages. So we've got systems in place that make it easy that if somebody says, do you have a Bhagavatam set? We can just instantly say yes, there's a way to pay for it. And so having those systems in place. And then here's Nakunja, Nakunja. Amazing devotee, very determined. And so she's just asking, everyone she knows. And often we assume that devotees have Bhagavatam sets, but some still don't. So she goes around asking everyone. And here's one of our dedicated teachers at the school, Daksha. She hadn't actually got a set of Prabhupada's books. So now she has both Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then on Radhastami, this is our temple manager, Krishna Chandra Prabhu. He's always so supportive of any book distribution campaigns that we have. So on Radhastami, he stood up with Bhagavatam and gave a really beautiful description of it, and then also went through all the different options that people can have. So, you can purchase for yourself if you don't have, you can gift to a friend, you can sponsor. We have different channels to sponsor in different countries. And then also we're having encouraging people by having a yagya at the temple on Bhadra itself in the evening. So this has been really popular. This worked well last year. So often people will just turn up on the day that haven't booked sets, and they'll come forward and they'll either take or they'll sponsor for someone else. And actually, I just got a message now that somebody from this campaign, from this announcement, they're picking up a Bhagavatam set from the temple today. So that's nice. They couldn't make it on Bhadra, so they wanted to get one today. And this is a lovely devotee, Maria, and she sponsored this set for this devotee family here. So yeah, just trying to cast a wider net by telling everybody about the campaign and different ways that they can reach out and be engaged. So yeah, we pray for your blessings that that we can increase more and more, and keep distributing.
Shamahini noted a few points. You talked about make language sets available, and you also had mentioned about systems, and very specifically about how you're fully equipped to take donations on the spot, whereas a few years ago you weren't. And that's really what we're after. She noted that this is really the essence of increasing capacity. And once we increase capacity, then all possibilities are there, and we just do our best. And you've had such a amazing sustained effort there, and the devotees are so courageous going out here, there, and everywhere, and especially in a place where the population is much, much smaller, and you're dealing with people who aren't oriented towards Vedic culture. I think really that if we look per capita or even per culture kind of graphs, you're excelling in so many different ways. It's hard to see when you're pushing against your own goals, but actually what you're doing there is quite amazing, I can tell you. Thank you for the sustained effort over time where you're making it more and more possible. And we don't know what's going to happen next. All we know is when we're ready and the opportunities come, we're able to take advantage of them when you're doing what you do. Thank you so much for your leadership, Baba Sundhi. It's just absolutely amazing. Gaur Premanande, Haribol. And we pray that there's a sea change of interest that comes in the last few days, and people become eager to take the Bhagavatams, and that may have a very, very successful last few days. Hare Krishna. Gaur Prem. And now we're moving over a little ways to Australia to hear from Radha Vinod Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Great
Hare
to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vashik Pro, please accept my humble obeisance. All Krishna Prabhupada. Thank you for this opportunity. In Australia, I believe there's a map, if someone can just share. So we've had 14 centers, and one of them was added this year, the Burbank Temple. And right now our pledge or our goal was to distribute 483 sets, of which Melbourne has led the charge. And we are now at 477 sets, still the last 4 days. So by the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and yourself, Prabhu, and especially after the supercharged inspiration by the way, Devamrita Maharaj. Who knows? Sky is the limit. Just on the ground here in Sydney, it's very busy for the next 3 days, and just wanted to share some realization. Srimad Bhagavatam has officially arrived in Darwin, which is named after Charles Darwin, the Northern Territory of Australia. So finally, a devotee endeavored hard enough to reach out to one of his Bhagavad Gita online students. And the moment he just shared about the Bhagavatam, she said, "This is the only thing that'll make my life complete." So it has officially arrived. We haven't received the photo yet, but we'll be the moment we receive it, we'll definitely be sharing with the wider audience. So it has made it to Darwin, and along with that, there's some other stories too. Just as Baba Sandhi Maharaj was sharing, sometimes we just don't know what can transpire from an exchange. So last year we had the opportunity to install a Srimad Bhagavatam set in a Bikram yoga studio. So Bikram, the yoga teacher in the 70s or 80s, somehow the other one of the students of Bikram yoga happens, is a devotee, and we had some devotee who was wanting to sponsor a Bhagavatam set that should only go to a yoga studio. So we just asked, and sometimes the power of just asking. We just asked the devotee to just see if the owner would be interested, and he had a bookshelf there, and he said, we just opened up the books, and the moment he saw, the beautiful pictures, we gave him a little explanation of what the Bhagavatam can do, and we just said we'll install it or we'll leave it here as long as one of your students or yourself will read for 10 minutes every day. And a year has gone by, and we had a kirtan night there a month ago, and he told one of us, "You guys told us to read for 10 minutes every day. Now we're reading it for 30 minutes every day." So, and we just said, okay, now you shouldn't stop there. We should help us promote this Srimad Bhagavatam to your students, and they've come on board with the campaign. So we're actually going to them tonight and just seeing what can manifest. So seeking the blessings and prayers of all of you, and we're hoping to cross our boundaries in the last 3 days, and who knows? Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Wow, thanks, Radha Vinod Prabhu. Facts tell, but stories sell. Just amazing to hear these anecdotes, and thank you very much for all you're doing there. Your leadership is amazing. I can just see from your countenance that there's an effulgence coming from the spiritual potency you're getting from everything you're doing. Hare Krishna. May your last few days be huge. And now we're jumping all the way to Fiji to see what's happening with our leading indicator area. Fiji is our leading indicator for how the world will do. It's highly scientific. And Rukmini Mohan Prabhu has been on every call, never missed one, been there from the beginning through thick and thin, even when he said, maybe we can do one book. And now, because of his persistence, everything is flowing. Good to see you, Rukmini Mohan Prabhu. Please tell us how things are in Fiji.
Hare Krishna, Vaisesika Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Vaishnavas present here online. We are in the midst of Festival of Fiji here. The festival was inspired by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He wanted that his Festival of Fiji be held so that people get opportunity to come in contact with Krishna consciousness here. So every 2 years, this is being organized. This year is special because we have 50-year presence of ISKCON in Fiji. It's a 50 years anniversary celebration, as well as 20-year celebration of Shri Radha Golok Bihari Temple, the main temple in Suva. So I'm joining here from Suva. I might be able to hear background Hare Krishna Kirtan going on in the temple. It's a beautiful atmosphere here, very, very vibrant, and we had pretty good success, I'd say. We were on 18 out of 21 Srimad Bhagavatam. 21 was the pledge that we were working on. We are on 18 at the moment, and I really did not expect it to go, this well so fast, but it has certainly, uh, has made our day really. So I'm very excited, very, very, very happy that the campaign is going very well. On Janmashtami, we had 4 buyers of Srimad Bhagavatam. We promoted it, and before we opened the altar for the Grand Aarti, we requested if people could take Srimad Bhagavatam sets for Shishi Gaurnitai, for Shishi Radha Golok Bihari, and for Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Bhakt Hanuman. So we had 3 buyers from the audience. They raised their hands that they were going to accept Srimad Bhagavatam, and similar type of encouragement we did for Radha Ashtami. We again got 3 buyers, and so things are looking pretty good at this moment, and we are very hopeful that we'll meet the pledge made for this year, 21. So we're on 18 at the moment. Spiritual Science Study Center is on 2. ISKCON Nosori is on 3. Suva, ISKCON Suva, where I'm based here, we are on 10. And ISKCON Lautoka is on 3. So yes, we are just looking at 68,000 for the worldwide goal. Fiji is basically like a squirrel in Lord Ram's army in constructing a bridge to Lanka. So, but we are very happy to be part of this wonderful campaign inspired by Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu.
Thank you. And now you heard it here. The leading indicator is on the rise. That means the world's on the rise. That means feel free to distribute as many Bhagavatams as you wish. Just offer them, ask. We're finding out that the solution is quite simple. Just ask people. And it's the hesitation. Once we ask, then everything flows. And I loved your point about asking people to take it before the darshan opened. And he sold several sets on Janmashtami, Radhashtami. We pray that you smash your goal.
Thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu. And we had a new murti of Srila Prabhupada put here for the celebration, 20th anniversary celebration of Shishi Radha Golok Bihari. And besides Srila Prabhupada, we put the Srimad Bhagavatam there for the public. We already have a buy-up today as well. We got a buy-up today as well. And I think by the time we finish this program, we probably meet our goal. So looking forward to these wonderful events. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We'll have our ear to the ground to hear the cheering that takes place when you pass your goal there today. Hare Krishna. And now we're going to swing over to Samaduri Leela from Thailand. We're so happy to hear from all the different sections of the world. It's not how many you do, it's how much capacity you get and how much you do according to your capacity. And when there's a lot of devotees involved, we do really big. It's more involvement that we're looking for all over the world. So everyone can do whatever they can do, and that's all we can do ever. And it's enough when we all work together, and especially when we increase capacity. So can we jump to Thailand? Can we hear from Samadhuri?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please
Hare
accept my humble
Krishna.
obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So my humble obeisances to all the wonderful leaders. What an inspiring association that we have here. And we were trying this year for Thailand, we pledged about 30 sets. And last year we had an amazing response, but this year it was a bit slow, in getting response from all the leaders and all the people that we approached. But I think it's picking up the pace. And even after, hearing from all the leaders and inspiring ways and how, we're going all about. Yeah, even with this last few days, we'll just gear up now. And I'm very inspired. We are ready to go set the goal. Although we have just done half of our pledge, 15 till now. But this weekend, in the Sunday programs and, all the leaders are trying their best to distribute as much as possible. And we'll also contact we have contacted our different, leaders and sponsors to get it up. So please kindly give us all your blessings. Thailand really needs it. We need to really have Bhagavatam going around. And we also started few Bhagavatam classes translated into Thai so that, we can get it into the local language as well.
Wow, how exciting. It's definitely, I'd say it's a nail biter, but we don't bite our nails around here. But it's this is definitely exciting cemetery. Those last few days, we were just commenting at the beginning of this endeavor this year for Bhadra Purnima that fires start when they start. And we just keep trying to ignite something. And then when it goes, it really goes. Fires can go fast. So don't worry, time span's not so important. In fact, I wrote down this quote the other day I want to share with everybody. I was at a recital. One of our young devotees became an expert Carnatic drummer. And one of the MCs said, "Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going." So don't worry about how much time is left. I mean, you can notice it, but don't worry about it. Just keep going. And you never know what's going to happen. This is Lord Chaitanya's movement. It's not anything completely predictable. It's something transcendental. And I loved hearing that it's not necessarily like Baba Sundari Devi said, you might put in some effort and come home disappointed and say, oh, it didn't happen. And then a year later, a sprout comes up that turns into a tree, and nothing goes in vain. That's something I wrote in my book. It was a quote from Prabhupada, that nothing goes in vain. And so it's all worth it. And you just try and ask and see what happens. So everybody, this is it. Nobody else is flying in to do this. We're it. We're the ones that somehow, whether we're so fortunate that we've gotten the opportunity to work together as a team. It feels good to me. I love it. And I'm so impressed with what you're all doing over there on that side. We have a few days left. This is a good time to make a sustained effort. And actually, it's the simple decisions that can make a huge difference. If you're thinking about, should I try it or shouldn't I try it? Just now you got 3 days, try it anyway. Ask somebody, put out what you didn't know was going to work or not. Now's the time to leave it all on the field and just do the best you can with whatever time we have left and whatever resources you have, and see what Lord Chaitanya has in mind. We heard from Devamrita Swami about the nature of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called the Amala Purana. It is the means by which we can overcome any of the troubling features of our minds and hearts and rise above the tyranny of the senses. Nothing else can do that in this world. So I'm praying on this last meeting before Bhadra. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev. If you so desire, please empower our team in Oceania to smash their goals and to be happy in the celebration of being involved in the Sankirtan movement. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Oh, because we have 3 minutes left, just to play us out with a music video so everyone has a song in their heart. which one you say. I don't know which one you want to pick. Something with a beat to it. Put the bird one on. Are you all ready for one more video on the way out? It's slightly longer than the last one. More than slightly. So feel free if you need to go. But this is our exodus. Go.
Birds fly as high as they're able, while the sky stretches far beyond the eagle's eye. Above the clouds, even the mountains seem little as we cover the earth to conquer death and birth. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? Will we fly? Fly? Will we fly today? All alone, it may feel impossible, while a team can achieve the wildest dream, as we live just to give this gift forever, sharing love of God for Srila Prabhupada. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? Will we fly? Will we fly? What are you waiting for? Step out that door. We're on the verge of a surge. Just a little more. Let's make a stand today. It's the ISKCON way. We're on the a surge to 100K. What are you waiting for? Step out that door. We're on the verge of a surge, just a little more. Let's make a stand today. It's the years gone way. We're on the verge of a surge to 100K. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? How high will we fly? Will we fly? Will we fly?
Vancha kalpatarusha kripasindave vishapatitanam bhavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Govinda Haribo. Hare Krishna, everybody. Do huge. Gaur Premanande.